Board games are meant to be social experiences. Pieces on the table, conversation around rules, dice rolling in your hand. But some board games are far better digitally than physically. And Steam Board Game Fest 2026, running January 26th to February 2nd, proves it. In the physical world, rule complexity, setup time, bookkeeping, and scoring can bog these games down. On PC, however, automation handles all the tedious parts, letting you enjoy the pure strategy and fun. Today, we're looking at 10 board games that are genuinely better on Steam than in real life. Through the Ages is one of the deepest civilization board games ever designed, where players balance military, science, culture, and governance over centuries. In its physical form, it requires massive bookkeeping and constant recalculation, and games often take hours because players have to track so many moving parts manually. The digital version solves all of that. Automatic score tracking, enforced rules, and instant resource calculation make this a smooth, strategic experience. During Steam Board Game Fest 2026, Through the Ages is 50% off, dropping from about $7.29 to around $3.64, which is a huge discount for a game of this depth. On PC, you get a slick UI, AI opponents of varying difficulty, and an experience where the challenge comes from your choices, not the rulebook. Spirit Island is a cooperative masterpiece where players control elemental spirits defending an island from invading colonists. Physically, it's brilliant, until you realize how many timing windows, special cases, and conditional effects are involved. Rule disputes, tracking fear markers, and remembering phased turns can ruin the flow. Digitally, Spirit Island becomes crisp and intense. The game enforces timing, phases, and powers automatically, so your group can focus on strategy instead of arguing about whether a bonus applies. On Steam, Spirit Island is currently 60% off, usually priced around $3.39, down from $8.49, and during the fest, it often goes on demo too. This means players can jump in quickly and learn by playing instead of memorizing pages of exceptions. Twilight Struggle is often cited as one of the best two-player strategy games ever made, simulating the Cold War through influence, coups, and space race cards. Physically, it's a brilliant design, except when score flipping, influence shifts, or event card timings get misinterpreted or forgotten. The digital version eliminates mistakes completely. Every scoring trigger, every modifier, and every event resolves precisely as intended. During Board Game Fest 2026, Twilight Struggle is around 50% off, typically around $2.74. Whether you're new to grand strategy or a veteran, the digital edition brings a level of tight tactical play and trust in the system that the physical board often struggles to maintain. Dune. Imperium blends deck building and worker placement in the thematic world of Arrakis, where players vie for spice, political influence, and military dominance. In its physical form, the game can become physically cluttered and cognitively heavy as players track resource tokens, deck states, and placement conflicts on a sprawling table. The digital version keeps all this clean, with automated scoring, visual cues, and a polished UI that highlights opportunities without manual tracking. During the 22/6 Fest, Dune Imperium is typically 30% off, bringing the price down to the $5.47. This version respects your time and attention, making strategic layers clearer and conflict more satisfying without the physical mess. Armello might look like a board game, but it's born digital in spirit. Its blend of card effects, dice risk, status conditions, and animated storytelling makes it feel much smoother on PC than on a table. The game's digital mechanics, including dynamic camera, AI enemies, online matchmaking, and narrative animation, don't translate cleanly to physical components, where setup and tracking would slow everything down. On Steam Board Game Fest, Armello often receives a 75% discount, reducing its price from about $8.49 to around $2.12. Because its core design embraces digital flow, Armello wins not just in convenience, but in engagement, delivering a board game feel that only digital can fully realize. Tabletopia isn't a single game. It's a digital tabletop platform that hosts hundreds of board games across genres and playstyles. Physically, owning a library like this would require shelves of boxes, setup space, and countless components. Digitally, Tabletopia gives you access to all of that with instant setup, tutorial options, and online multiplayer. During Steam Board Game Fest 2026, premium access and DLC packs are often up to 50% off, unlocking extended content and custom titles. For players who want infinite variety and creativity in one place, Tabletopia is a perfect example of a board gaming experience that simply cannot be matched by physical tables. Concordia is known for its elegant, low-luck Eurogame mechanics. Players expand trade networks, optimize card plays, and race for endgame scoring. In the physical version, the final scoring phase can often be a slog as points are calculated manually, slowing the satisfying conclusion. On PC, Concordia handles every detail instantly, letting you sprint through endgame scoring and immediately see the results of your strategy. During Steam Board Game Fest, Concordia typically runs 50% off, $9.99. This automated scoring removes friction and turns an already excellent strategy game into a clean, satisfying digital experience that respects both your time and your tactical investment. Ticket to Ride is a beloved classic where players claim rail routes across colorful maps by managing hand cards and planning connections. Physically, it's fun, but setup, sorting cards, and dealing with missed deals can eat time. The digital version automates setup, shuffling, and scoring, and lets you jump straight into strategic route planning. On Steam Board Game Fest, Ticket to Ride is usually 60% off, $2.79. The convenience of digital play, especially online multiplayer and instant matchmaking, lifts this accessible strategy game above its physical counterpart in terms of pure playability and flow. Scythe thrives on big strategic decisions: economic development, territory control, faction asymmetry, and resource optimization. Physically, a table full of player boards, tokens, and combat resolution can slow the game to a crawl, especially with newer players. The digital version streamlines actions, automates combat, and handles economy tracking, creating a pacing that keeps engagement high and downtime low. As part of the 22.6 Fest, Scythe often sees up to 80% off, meaning it's available for under $2 from an original $9.99 price tag. Automated turn sequencing, clean UI alerts, and instant rule enforcement make this version clearly superior for players who want tight strategy without the setup and tracking overhead. Carcassonne Tiles and Tactics is the official digital adaptation of one of the most iconic tile placement board games ever made, where players build medieval landscapes with roads, cities, cloisters, and fields. Physically, Carcassonne is fun but requires setup, frequent reshuffling of tiles, and manual scoring that can slow down games, especially with expansions. On PC, the experience becomes much smoother. Online multiplayer matches connect you with players around the world. Scoring and rule enforcement happen instantly, and the 3D board makes every tile placement visually satisfying without losing focus on strategy. During Steam Board Game Fest 2206, Carcassonne has seen deep discounts up to 70% off, bringing its price down to around $1.64. This makes the digital version not just more convenient, but often more enjoyable than tracking every meeple and tile by hand, especially for players who prefer faster gameplay and online competition. These 10 board games aren't just convenient on PC. In many cases, the digital versions are objectively better because they remove friction, automate rules, and let you focus on strategy, not setup. Steam Board Game Fest 2026 runs only through February 2nd, so if you've been curious about any of these titles, now is the time to explore them with discounts and demos. Let me know in the comments which game you're trying first, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Steam event guides and gaming breakdowns.